Here we are at the end of 2020. Back in June, what seems like almost a lifetime ago, I recorded the first episode of DùnDún, a modest attempt to communicate across borders at a time when everyone was feeling the impact of months of anxiety and isolation. I talked about Bed-Stuy Strong, a spontaneous mutual aid food distribution initiative set up in almost literally my own backyard here in Brooklyn in response to the pandemic. As the Black Lives Matter protests were getting underway, it looked like it might represent a whole new form of solidarity in my community, cutting across racial and socioeconomic divides. As it turns out, Bed-Stuy Strong is moving forward as acute urgent needs give way to larger structural ones. In addition to addressing food security, it mobilized voters in the recent elections, and it's expanding its volunteer efforts to prisoner solidarity work. During the past 6 months, we've heard voices from around the world speak about examples of the inherent resilience of civil society in the face of the global crisis. Among other stories, we heard about a Nigerian campaign to push back public health legislation that would have eroded civic freedoms. About independent investigations in Montenegro into politically linked corruption in the distribution of pandemic relief aid. And in Indonesia, an initiative to address increasing domestic violence during the lockdown. Going into the new year, as we consider how our lives have been forever changed, this 20th episode marks the end of the first season. Coming up next year, we will shift to the aftermath. From stories of immediate response to stories about new ways to support our collective future. If you have a story to share, let us know by reaching out to us through the Rights Collab website or email us at info@rightscollab.org. And please keep listening.
Thank you for listening. Please join us next time for another episode of DùnDún, Connecting Voices.